You ever wonder what happens when an HOA Karen tries to turn a working farm into a camping resort? Well, let's just say it ends with screaming campers, ruined tents, and a whole lot of sewage. And trust me, the smell of revenge? Oh, it was priceless. Some people just don't know when to quit, and if you've ever dealt with an HOA, you know exactly the type of people I'm talking about. But what happened to me took HOA madness to a whole new level. It started on a Saturday morning. I woke up early like I always do, planning to check on my cows and fix a broken fence post. But instead of the peaceful quiet I was used to, I heard music. Loud, thumping, obnoxious music. And then, voices. Lots of them. I stepped outside, coffee mug in hand, and froze. My fields, my private farmland, were covered in tents. Bright-colored nylon domes, RVs parked along the fence line, even a makeshift campfire pit smoking in the middle of my pasture. At least 40 people were spread out, cooking breakfast, playing frisbee, and trampling through my crops like it was some kind of festival. I marched down the hill and spotted her instantly, the one behind it all. HOA Karen. Perfectly styled blonde bob, oversized sunglasses, holding a clipboard like she was queen of the world. "Karen!" I shouted, storming toward her. "What in the world is going on here?" She turned, gave me the smuggest smile I've ever seen, and said, "Oh, good morning. We've decided your property is now being used as a community campsite. Isn't it wonderful? Look how happy everyone is." I nearly dropped my coffee. "A campsite? This is my farm. You can't just declare it public property." Karen's grin widened. "Actually, according to our interpretation of the community guidelines, any open and used land can be designated for public recreation. Your fields were practically begging for it." I stared at her, completely dumbfounded. "Begging for it? Lady, this land feeds my animals. This is my livelihood." She just waved me off like I was a child throwing a tantrum. "Relax. Think of it as giving back to the community. Besides, you weren't really using this land anyway. Don't worry, we'll keep things tidy." Spoiler alert, they did not. By midday, my farm looked like a music festival gone wrong. Strangers were stomping through my crops, kids were climbing on my barn fence, and someone even parked their RV so close to my water pump I couldn't access it. I tried reasoning with Karen again. "You need to pack up and leave." "No." She laughed, sipping a fancy latte from a travel mug. "Oh, don't be so uptight. We'll only be here for a week or two. Besides, I already collected camping fees." My jaw hit the floor. "You're charging people money to camp on my land?" She smiled like a cat who'd caught a mouse. "Of course. $20 a tent, $50 for RVs. It's a community fundraiser. You should be thanking me." Thanking her. My crops were getting crushed, my animals were spooked, and trash was piling up faster than I could keep track. Beer cans littered the pasture, cigarette butts floated in my pond, and one guy thought it was a great idea to chop wood from my fence posts. I called the sheriff. But when he showed up, he took one look at the mess and sighed. "Look, this is technically an HOA matter. It's a civil dispute, not criminal trespass. Unless you've got proof they're damaging property, my hands are tied." I pointed at the chaos behind me, kids running wild, campers trampling crops, but the sheriff just shrugged. "Document everything. Get a lawyer. That's your best bet." Karen smirked behind him, arms crossed like she'd already won. "Told you," she said. "We're not going anywhere." That night, I couldn't sleep. From my porch I could hear music, laughter, even fireworks. My farm, my sanctuary, had been stolen out from under me. Over the next few days, things got worse. Much worse. My cows refused to come near the barn because campers kept shining flashlights in their eyes. One family decided my chicken coop was a petting zoo and tried feeding my hens chips. A drunk teenager stumbled into my barn and relieved himself on a hay bale. But the final straw came on day 4. I walked out to find Karen hammering a giant wooden sign into the ground. In bold black letters it read, "Public campsite, managed by the HOA. $20 per tent, $50 per RV. Enjoy your stay." I felt my blood boil. "You can't be serious," I shouted. You're officially advertising my property as a business now? Karen adjusted her sunglasses and replied calmly, Why not? The community deserves this. Besides, you can't stop progress. Learn to adapt, farmer boy. That was it. That was the moment I snapped. I wasn't just angry anymore. I was done playing nice. If Karen wanted to turn my land into a campsite, then fine. I'd give her and her campers the camping trip from hell. Here's the thing about running a farm. There are a lot of dirty jobs. One of them involves the sewage system. I have an old irrigation setup that connects to my septic tanks. Normally, I use it to fertilize certain fields in controlled amounts. But if I wanted to, I could redirect that flow anywhere. And suddenly, I knew exactly where it was going. Late that night, when the campers were fast asleep, I got to work. I rerouted the pipes and opened the valves. Slowly, quietly, the sewage flowed across the campsite field. At first, nothing seemed different. But by morning, oh, it was glorious. The stench hit first. Imagine the worst rotten egg smell mixed with garbage juice and animal waste. It was everywhere, thick, heavy, unavoidable. Then the ground got squishy. People stepped out of their tents barefoot and immediately gagged as their feet sank into slimy puddles. Sleeping bags were soaked, campfires sputtered out, and the entire field turned into a swamp of filth. Panic spread instantly. Kids screamed, parents shouted, and tents collapsed in the muck. One guy slipped and fell face-first into the sludge. Another cursed at Karen, demanding a refund. Karen tried to keep control. Everyone, calm down. It's just a little water, she yelled, holding her nose. But when she stepped back, her expensive designer shoes sank deep into the mess, and the look on her face was priceless. Her sunglasses slipped, her hair was frizzing, and she gagged so hard I thought she might throw up. People weren't buying her excuses anymore. They were furious. Campers started packing up as fast as they could, tossing ruined gear into cars and RVs. Some swore they'd never listen to the HOA again. Others screamed at Karen, blaming her for everything. And me? I just stood on my porch, arms crossed, sipping coffee, watching sweet justice unfold. Within an hour, the field was empty. My land was mine again. The HOA held an emergency meeting the very next day. Word spread fast about the sewage flood incident, and Karen was humiliated. Dozens of angry residents demanded answers. Some accused her of pocketing money illegally. Others said she had endangered the whole neighborhood. I wasn't invited, of course, but I heard through the grapevine that Karen nearly lost her position as HOA president. Her reputation was ruined, and she avoided me like the plague after that. And legally, I was in the clear. I hadn't broken any laws. I was simply irrigating my own land with my own system. The HOA had no authority over my farm. Case closed. Now, months later, my farm is peaceful again. The cows graze in silence, the chickens cluck happily, and the only tents I see are the ones I use for storage. Whenever neighbors mention the fiasco, they laugh. The phrase, Karen's sewage campsite, has become a running joke. As for Karen, she still struts around with her clipboard, but everyone knows she's all talk now. Nobody follows her the way they used to. Her power shrank the day she tried to steal my farm and ended up ankle-deep in sewage. And me. I learned something too. When people push you too far, sometimes the best revenge isn't angry words or endless arguments, it's action. Messy, smelly, unforgettable action.